Hey everybody, in this episode of the Designated Survivor After Show, we're breaking down Season 1, Episode 16, Party Lines. Tom tries his hand at the Washington game. The game? Game? Sure. Christine, how does he do?
He did okay.
All right, let's find out.
Gotta win.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Guys, I'm going to take credit for that messed up intro. I was just giving them a lot of grief, making some crazy faces over here. You know the movie Anchorman where they try to mess her up? Yeah, that's what I was doing over here.
This was Mike in the corner.
It's just shenanigans here at the Designated Survivor After Show.
Who doesn't love live TV?
There's nothing like it. There is nothing like it. Welcome, everybody. We're breaking down every episode of Designated Survivor airing on ABC this season. I'm one of your hosts, Frank Moran. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Why not do that too? At HappyGoJackie.
What's up, guys? I'm your host, Christine Alexis. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Christine Bean.
Hey, you guys, how are we doing on this Wednesday evening? Thank you for everyone joining us. I know there's a lot of people on the East Coast. I remember someone from like South Africa last time. Thank you guys all for joining us. You can join me on Twitter, on Instagram, at The Only MC to talk. We'll go through some shenanigans just like we did tonight all throughout the week.
Hey guys, I'm Renee Ariel, and you can follow me on Instagram and on Twitter at Renee Ariel.
And as always, folks, you can give us those 5 stars on iTunes, like us on Facebook, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and of course, Michael's got his iPad here, which means the chat is up and running, so feel free to chime in, share your thoughts about the season in general, or this episode in particular.
We got a full house tonight. Everyone is back. Here's the thing. They get here like 3 or 4 or 5 minutes early before we even start the show, which is awesome. They already get the conversation started. It's amazing.
Now, we've got, as always, the business up front. One is to first shame Renee because she's just eating some meatballs out of a cup.
It's it's soup.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I can see the leaves
Meatball
from
soup.
here, like
Yeah.
around the cup.
I did a quick
Yes,
teeth
that-
check to make sure I didn't have any spinach in my teeth.
Oh,
I don't.
And she decided to bring cookies for some reason.
I know what you're thinking. Like, oh my gosh, I'm so sick of seeing Oreos. Why not switch it up with some vegan chocolate chip cookies? Here's
No,
the
that's
thing.
not what I was thinking.
I'm sure it was. It's okay. Anyways, here's the thing. Like, what a bummer. Christine, I don't want to kill her. She's allergic to peanuts, and apparently there's like almond extract in here. But lucky for you guys, you can try the cookies that I baked.
It's vanilla extract, and I am also
No.
not tolerant.
It was almond extract. Here, try
They said
one.
it was
Here you go.
vanilla
Right.
extract.
It was almond.
It was almond extract.
So you can
that
have
I
my
am
cookie.
also
No.
not
No,
able
no, no, no,
to
no.
digest.
Here you
I
go.
gotta take the whole.
Thank you.
Damn
Ivan says
thing.
Here you
vegan, gross.
Here you go.
Here
Take
you go.
one.
I'll see a little
Here you go.
little
No,
chunk here. Okay,
no.
you know what? I'll
Be
go.
a man. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
Wow, that's how you
Do
get
it.
this.
Go for it.
Does it taste like cardboard or
It's
not?
too banana-y. What is a
But
banana
there's no
cookie?
banana in it. I looked it up. That's the thought I had. I was like, this tastes like banana bread with chocolate chips, which is
Smells
quite
like it
pleasant.
too.
It's not terrible. I will give you that, but it
Ha.
doesn't taste like a cookie. If I want a cookie, I'm not gonna have that.
What does it taste like?
You just have banana bread.
Yeah, it has
Didn't you
like
just say
banana
anything
bread
else,
cookie.
Oh my goodness.
I will be honest. It is better than I thought it was going to be.
Same.
For sure.
Good.
But still, it holds a distant candle to
Kind of
what
like
we
our
really come up
relationship.
for. Interesting.
Kidding.
Burn.
A new Oreo to add to the mix tonight. Christine, what do we have?
Up on the menu, we have mint cream Oreos.
Mint.
So nice little mint chocolate action going on.
It says that on the package. Mint chocolate action going on.
Nabisco took that one from me. I have low expectations for this one. I'll be honest.
What?
I'm not really into
Didn't
like
someone
mint
say it was good
chocolate
on
shit.
Twitter?
Someone did say that, but I don't
Yeah.
like minty with
Chocolate? Me
chocolate.
neither.
Like I don't do like the York peppermint patty or
No,
none of
ew,
that stuff.
gross.
Like
Junior mints?
no.
What?
Yeah, I'm,
Yeah, I don't like that
They're
either.
peppermint? They're chocolate? They're delicious.
Yeah, see, mixing with chocolate.
Go ahead.
All
Set
right.
it
Seinfeld?
up.
Anyone? No
Mint
Seinfeld.
gum is
All right.
great, but don't put chocolate on it.
Yeah, I
Here
like
we
those
go.
flavors separate. Mint is usually for me to like get rid of whatever flavor was there before.
Exactly. Like I don't like
Not-
mint chip ice cream or
Oh.
anything.
Ooh, they're a little green for my liking. The package makes them look
Why are you
really
surprised?
like
Did you think they were gonna be
whitish.
periwinkle or
Well, no,
something?
the package makes them look pretty white. Okay,
They-
grab one.
What are you talking?
Grab one.
Hold on a second. This
Grab,
does not make
come
it
on.
look like.
Not stop it. Grab one. Ooh, they're
Why
like
are they
double
all
stuffed.
double stuffed?
They're double stuffed. This is
Oh
awesome.
my god, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah,
Are you
best
kidding
surprise
me?
ever.
Life just
Our engineer bailed tonight. He's not trying with us. Just calling you out.
what a
Yeah,
hater,
what's going on,
Josh.
Josh?
Wow. All right, here we go.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, yes, you can really smell the mint on that.
I can't reach you guys.
Yeah.
There we go. Oh, okay.
I'm a fan. Right away.
Oh no.
I'm a fan. It tastes, I forget, like
All you need to do is just to put together a montage of Renee's faces taking the bites of everything that's not just a standard Oreo. I just see her just like.
End of the season. I think we gotta wrap that one up.
Oh, that's so bad.
not bad at all.
It's not bad, but it's not something I would pick
I'm just gonna
ever.
go back to the soup.
Oh my goodness. All right, it's my weekly time to tell us that we need to start getting into the chat because there's a lot of discussion.
Alright.
I'm putting this real quick at the bottom. Anybody disagree?
Solid.
I'm middle of
Bottom.
the road.
Middle? Okay.
Oh, better than the Swedish fish ones.
Well, we
try
don't know
those.
that yet. We've had
We
peeps.
tried. Oh, the peeps. That's what I
Yes.
meant.
I was
take
gonna
that
say,
as a
I
piece?
want to try the Swedish fish ones.
Yeah, I'm down for that. All right, ladies and gentlemen,
Go for it.
this time we get to see some politicking here by Kirkman and crew.
A lot of politicking.
Yes, we've got a gun bill to pass, even though it's not the greatest bill ever. The idea is at least to get it through the Senate, and then in the House work on the language of it to get assured that it gets passed, and so it's a better structured bill. But basically, this is Bowman's chance to try to make Tom look like a lame duck president.
It was interesting because it seemed like so Bowman brought it up specifically to fail. He wasn't voting for it, which I guess took me a couple minutes to be like, okay, he's the one who introduced this bill to vote against it, to fail it. And once I kind of got my head around that, but a lot of politics, and that I guess is the one of the big topics. Too much politics in this show. Not as far as the action politics scale. Lots of politics, not a lot of action.
Today was the perfect balance, in my opinion. I thought it was suspenseful with Hannah and Atwood. I really liked the politics part of it. I really enjoyed this whole episode that you were caught in suspense, even with that. Like, is it going to get passed? I thought this episode was so good. I really liked it. I was like very into it.
I don't know. I felt like last week's had a little bit better of the balance of the politics and action. Had a little bit more action to kind of balance it out. This one I felt like it didn't quite have as much.
I'm gonna agree with you on that, only because I thought we would have had more developments with Hannah and Jason. I mean, they did uncover that underground.
It's a bunker.
A bunker. There you go. That facility.
Military silo. Yeah.
Yeah, and they discovered all the bombs the same bombs that were used at the Capitol. So that was like okay, but still like not enough action there. But the political side was pretty riveting. I'll say that, and I will say that I was right in my prediction that Bowman would be around for more than just one episode.
Oh yeah,
that's
we were
true.
both right about that.
I mean, I know we looked on IMDb, but like for real, like he's definitely in the
He's
storyline, you know.
One of my biggest critiques throughout the show has always been that it's too fake and not real enough. And I thought this episode, I'm agreeing with Renee. For once, I'm shaking my head at that. No, I'm just kidding.
It's realistic.
Is that I enjoy the authenticity.
Okay.
And the actual, this is what would be happening with politics. And it's nice, there's a lot of storylines going on about the conspiracy, but it's still Washington. The government still needs to run. It was good. I thought it was a great way to put some people in some good light. Hook Stratton, I thought looked very good.
Yeah.
Aaron Shore, I thought looked very good. He is good, by the way. Not a bad guy. Still stand by that. And obviously Kirkman played up really well. Hannah Wells played up really well. I think this was a big win episode.
I completely agree. I honestly think this episode shows that this television show is getting its like flow. Like I finally feel like it knows the right balance. Here's the thing. Yes, there wasn't action per se or as much action. However, the point of like having an action scene is to get you like super into it and invested in like in suspense and whatever. That happened in this episode without there being so much action. There didn't need to be a bomb going off. There didn't need to be a gunfight. Like, it was literally just, like, wondering what's going to happen next the whole episode. Like, there wasn't one moment I was bored or anything or felt that they were spending too much time on one storyline. Like, they balanced it really well. And there wasn't a point that something else was, like, overshadowing like a certain plot. Like everything was perfectly balanced.
And that is exactly the way that Red Hood 27 says. Perfect balance, ? Other people kind of all over the spectrum. Ivan said that it's too much politics. And then Benally P said that I like the more politics. So certainly, a wide spectrum. Also, someone finally recognized this. Where are you? I think it's Steve Feinstein who says those are the Girl Scout Thin Mint flavor. That's why it's so good. It tastes like a Girl Scout Thin Mint.
Why does it
I
say
don't even
that?
think I like those.
I feel like that.
Where does it say that?
Can no longer be on this panel with the woman to my right.
Goodbye, Michael Clouse. That was it. Oh no.
Surprised he didn't just like kick my chair over. Like,
Next thing you know, you're gonna be.
we jettison out the door.
I felt these do not remind me of the Thin Mints.
I don't.
They're a little
yeah.
bit too minty for my taste. On them. So we start off though the episode. There is a question about all those bombs we do find down in the silo, because Mike and Hannah talk. Hannah's filling him all in and showing him all those threat assessments from those 3 other landmarks. And the idea is the thought is this something from the past that they abandoned and focus on the capital, or these 3 future plans? And I think by the end of the episode, we have an idea that this is definitely future plans.
Oh,
Do
yeah.
You think?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, that was the overwhelming theme.
Yeah, they got more bombs. I mean, if you're gonna have all those bombs, you may as well use them.
Did you expect, they kind of introduced of, where would they get all these plans from? Did you expect that to be uncovered this episode?
I did. I thought we were. I mean, not necessarily where, like, for sure where they got it from, but just a little more info on that. Like, just finding the other bombs was like kind of anticlimactic for me, because I personally already assumed that those were schematics for things that were going to happen. I assumed that they would find more evidence towards that, but like I'm still waiting for us to find the inception of where all of this is coming from. Like, still being dragged out. Like, I just need a little bit more. A little bit.
For me, I thought it was a perfect reveal because now they know where these bombs are being kept and they can do something about it. Like, this is the first time we have a lead to like be 2 steps ahead of these people. However, did you guys think when the camera was kind of like moving at that one point when they were walking that they were trying to show like someone watching them, or do you think there was just
I thought somebody
I-
was there.
I
couldn't
expected there to be. I mean, with all the cameras that they've shown in past episodes, watching the houses and everywhere else,
Yeah.
that is my biggest thought of who knows that they're there. Are they trying to monitor? You were talking about, are they one step ahead now that they know about these bombs? Will they be able to seize them? Will they get caught? I think it's too easy that they just seize all the bombs. So there has to be
Yeah.
something, I think, at the beginning of next episode where they get caught.
Or do you imagine that they run back to try to at least get in touch, and they can't get a signal from out there in the middle of the field, so they go back to at least some kind of local area where they can get better reception. By the time they get back, everything's gone. It's like,
that would so happen.
I don't know that
I would be mad.
They could mobilize all of that, but I think there would for sure be a trap waiting for them there. It wouldn't just be that easy.
but I do agree with you, Christine. I was hoping that at least another person would pop up as a subject of interest.
Yes.
That we feel like, okay, this person could give us more information if we can capture them and not kill them.
Yeah, we're still missing, like, after what was her name that they shot last week?
Brooke.
Brooke,
Yes.
yeah. Once she was out of the picture, I'm like, okay, we have nothing. Like, we don't have a person to tie this to at all. So I'm still waiting for that character to come in. Like, I think it's probably next week. We'll probably see a little bit more about that.
However, how cool was it that we were caught in suspense thinking that someone would be there and then they
True.
weren't? It's the perfect
It's true.
tease.
You know what? We're pretty split on this.
No, that's cool and everything. I'm just so surprised to see you so, like, enthralled this week. You're like
I really
team
love this
designated
episode.
survivor. I love it.
I don't know, like if this is like your area that you're betting your whole movement on the idea that you're going to have all these munitions buried underneath there. Wouldn't you have some real people there on security detail watching that place?
Yeah, but why would they be shown?
See, that's why I think it's going to be revealed. They're letting them go all the way underground. They haven't made it out yet. That's my thought. Is
That is
I
true.
feel like there's something that we're not shown that's going to be like the start of next week's episode. Again, there has all these cameras.
Yeah, guys, like
There's
they
no
haven't
way.
left. They
Yeah.
did that on purpose. They're still down there, and it got creepier and creepier as the shots progressed. Like,
Yeah.
they did such a good job leading up to next week. I'm thrilled.
Thrilled.
Huge fan. 10 out of 10.
Steve Feinstein in the chat says, blowing up Congress makes sense to me. It destroyed the government. Blowing up infrastructure is terrorism. What's the point of that? Well, I think the point is terrorism. And still just, shaking. It's like what happened after 9/11. The whole feeling of the country is shaken. The security is shaken. And that impacts the way people live their lives. I mean, that's huge. It impacts stocks. It impacts just general livelihood.
For sure, especially when, the government's finally starting to get back on its feet. Maybe they're just timing this to come right before maybe the gun bill gets passed through the House, or before something really major happens that serves their best interest, whoever's behind it all. Because we still don't know, like you said, like, is it terrorism? Are they trying to make a political statement? Is there something to be gained from what they're trying to do here? Like, that's still not really clear.
Well, 16 episodes in, are you folks still happy with how little we know of the conspiracy? Would you want to see a more conspiracy-focused episode? So we
Crazy that we're 16 episodes in.
Yes.
I still want
To
that.
understand what their motivations are, even if
Yes.
even if the good guys don't know, at least the audience knows what's going on.
Yeah, but I think at this point I've accepted that it's gonna go slow. Where like I guess my expectations are not as high as they used to be, and maybe that's why I'm feeling a little better about this.
But here's the thing. If you guys have seen 13 Reasons Why on Netflix, people say that it's a slow show because the whole time you're waiting to find out why the main character's on the tape. And it takes time. But what you have to realize is the show isn't just about why he's on the tape. It's about many other storylines. So I feel like if we get very focused on the conspiracy, it will feel like a slow show. But now that we're getting into, again, the flow of things, I'm fine with it being slow. I think there will be an episode, probably the season finale, where it's very focused on the conspiracy, but right now they're trying to keep the audience engaged and having us commit more to like these characters and their storylines, and that's what they're doing a great job. I think.
Remember, the middle third was character development. Of
Yeah,
what they really
and
wanted to do.
I totally agree with that, and I do think it is critical for this show to keep its viewers to have us have that connection to the characters, especially leading into season 2 if we're not getting the action that we need. But I'm just frustrated with the pace because we are 16 episodes in and we're now starting to feel comfortable. I mean, we're going to get towards the end soon. Like, we're going to need something to ramp up real quick before the end, to, at least for me to still feel like, okay, I have something to gain from watching this, or, you know.
Okay, so imagine in the ideal world that this series runs at least 5 seasons. How many seasons do you think that this conspiracy would run along?
They can't do more than 2, like, with the same conspiracy.
They're the same thing. The thing that we're doing right now.
Well,
how many seasons would you
Switch
think?
over to a new one. I don't
Pretty
know.
Little Liars did 6 seasons with A, so
I didn't even go there.
who knows?
Listen, I was A. Okay? No, I'm just kidding.
Do you feel like we would have to pull like something like an Alias, where you kind of reveal one thing, but then that leads to more?
Here's the thing:
different...
if it's a international conspiracy trying to affect the U.S., I mean, you could go on for years. I mean, because then you're not just fighting it here at home; you're fighting it internationally.
Yeah. Do you think that it's something that is international, or?
Oh, I believe so. Absolutely.
I feel that it's when
Yeah.
we're going to get the initial, like the big reveal, it's going to just reveal that there's so much more to uncover or focus on for the next seasons. Like, we're going to get our big reveal that explains so much, but then it's going to be like,
But are
we're
you
gonna
gonna
think we're in a
care?
pond, it's gonna be in the ocean. I think so, because I'm starting to get more and more invested in the show. I honestly think it is getting better, and they are figuring out what they want to do with it, with like the next season and all. Like, I'm excited because I don't know what's going to happen next, but I'm excited to see what's going to happen like next week, and that's kind of all that matters.
I mean, so ideally, he could be a 2-term president. So you're looking at 8 seasons.
Yeah.
So would you want this conspiracy to
Although
run
even
8 seasons?
even more, because technically he hasn't been elected. You can be elected to 2 terms, and since he wasn't officially elected, we have to wait until the next. So it could be 10 seasons.
So okay,
Just throwing
so
out there. A lot.
imagine
Whoa.
that's 10
Obviously.
seasons. I mean,
Yeah.
you can't keep a conspiracy
No,
going
no,
for 10
no,
seasons.
no. I don't think so. But I think I in agreement again. Wow, is there
weird.
something in these
Season 2.
Oreos? What is
What's
this?
going on?
That if they can put a person as the vice president, they can have people spread out all over in various forms of government and power, and I think that really can carry the storyline.
Yeah, 100%. Like, someone else could easily become president next season. Tom Kirkman could, well, not next season, probably in a few seasons. Tom Kirkman could still be working in the White House somehow, and the storyline could continue because maybe that president's bad. Like, you just never know. And I like that. Here's the thing. Desperate Housewives went on for how many seasons? And that show was great because every season was a new mystery. I think they could easily do it with Designated Survivor somehow. It doesn't have to be as big as this season, but kind of shows learn as they go. And I could definitely see the show lasting for a while.
Benally says 4 to 6 seasons. Michael Martinez says at this rate 3 seasons.
I have to agree.
No, but here's the thing. No show goes into it and says, oh, well, this is a big conspiracy. Let's do 3 seasons.
No,
No,
well,
I mean,
No. I
I'm
mean, how many seasons did 24 go on? 8? Yeah.
8.
But they also did a thing like where every season was its own kind of thing with, as it got a little later on, it had little touches.
Arguably, it got kind of crappy some of the later seasons, but it could go that route. I mean, it would be like Jack Bauer 2.0, just in a suit and tackling different things if we're gonna go that
Oh
route.
my goodness, these are
Or you
so
go
good.
to
gotta see the way
you
from
go to
here.
the X-Files
for
where they
you,
just
honey.
went for 10 seasons and it never really wrapped up to a satisfying conclusion. I feel like that's the toughest part with the conspiracy is to know when to hit that sweet spot of wrapping it up where you've teased the audience enough, but you haven't exhausted them. I feel
And
like
and hopefully the writers will be able to do that.
Maybe you're right. Maybe they are going in the better direction in terms of character development throughout the rest of the season, because I feel like I personally need to care more about them before I to keep my interest going forward and needing more of the action. Like, I don't know. Like, it's been good. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to totally crap on this episode. They are getting better, but I just want more.
All right.
I think that we've had a great discussion this episode.
Wow,
Riveting.
look at us.
So
Nice.
hopping over, we talked a little bit about the conspiracy side of it. Let's talk a bit more about the politics side of it, because I know Michael Clouse is ready to start, getting on his little soapbox, talking about. No, I'm just
I was like,
he was fuming right now. Basically, Tom starts the episode by getting in front of the press, and they're talking a little bit about the bill, and he has to walk that fine line by saying, the bill is. I agree with the bill, but not necessarily the language. And he, at least he's upfront with the press about that. He's like, yeah, we definitely need to work on the language of this. And I just like they show Bowman the whole time just scrutinizing on the TV,
can't
watching
with
him say
Bowman.
that.
Oh my god.
it's interesting that they just chose Montana. I mean, of all states that, I don't want to say don't matter, but are not high in politics, because it's not a swing state. It's not a state that you have. How many presidents have there been from Montana, or Speaker of the House, or anyone large and in charge? You don't think from those from that part of the country. I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm just saying that's interesting that they chose Montana.
Yeah, that's right. And you definitely see, as they're I think everybody keeps reminding us in these past couple episodes about how he's really trying to fast track his career by stepping aside as governor so he can be elected right to the Senate.
And mainly, you're just talking about, again, fast track. I think a better way to describe it is that there's just not enough people in Montana to have a huge base.
He has no support.
He has
really.
no,
He's trying to make his own
Yeah, where
own
if
name.
you're from, the East Coast or New York, you can get New York City behind you. You can get big press. What's the big press in Montana? There's not. So I find that very interesting that they really have chosen him to be that guy.
Well, I think the Billings Gazette would be really mad to hear you say that.
That's true. Yeah. The
There you-
Billings Gazette.
That's right.
Is that real?
Oh, I bet there is.
No, yeah, I'm sure. I know there's Billings in Montana. I don't
Billings,
know.
Montana.
It's not like Gazette's a good name for a paper.
It sounds real local.
Either the Tribune or the Herald. Which one is it?
But I feel like the unsung hero this episode, the one that gets a lot of, finally after being kind of made to look like kind of foolish last episode, was Alex. She really came through in a lot of moments here and really saved the day by the end of the episode.
And she enjoys the position that she's in now, as she said.
She's changing a lot as
Yeah.
First Lady. I think she's understanding all the nuances that come with this new position and learning how to handle herself well. I think they kind of set it up in that scene where, she and Bowman cross paths, that it would, at least it came off to me like maybe she said something wrong. Just by the way they had the camera and the look on his face. He kind of gave her that look when she was walking away, all right, we'll see. But it turned out that it worked in their favor.
Well, yeah, even Emily was freaking out about that. When
I
Seth
thought
and
it was
Emily
gonna
were
go bad.
talking. Yeah, but I mean, honestly, watching the scene though, yes, they gave you, I would say, vibes that that's not okay, but I thought nothing wrong of it. I thought she handled herself really well in that situation.
No, I like seeing her standing up to Bowman, and she was just really poised and elegant right there during that scene. And just
As per usual.
Yeah, it's
flawless, obviously.
It's the question, of politics, and it's good and it's bad, because on one hand it's like, oh my goodness, really, can we not agree on something? Can we not all come together? And is this common sense? But on the other part, it's sad but true in that they're talking about, oh, I'm from this place and my people elected me, and how will that look in the midterms? And then what they mean by that is how will that be played in commercials, totally swayed, opinionated of, oh my goodness, can you believe what this guy did?
So-and-so voted on this.
Yeah,
Blah,
and
blah,
it's
blah.
real. I mean, and I see this all the time, and sometimes when we have a lot of gridlock in Washington, that's the way it's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be easy to pass a bill. There's things in place because it's not supposed to be easy. You're not supposed to have anything pass. Only the best things are supposed to pass. Now, granted, sometimes does that, go the other way, and there's too much gridlock. We can't get anything passed. Yes. But you are representing the people who voted you in your district. And if that's what those people want, you're literally just a talking head to do that. So it is a catch-22. I see both sides. I'm glad, obviously, that they passed this and now are able to work on it in the House. I think it was a educational lesson for a lot of people of how bills work, where you can pass it in one and kind of revamp it in another, and then it will go back to the Senate, and that's how a bill works. I think that's very educational for people.
No, that's true. And there's nobody like Mitch McConnell in this universe to, change the rules and just, blow everything up. So now we also have, we can figure out the dynamic of the Hookstrat and Aaron relationship as well, too. So, I mean, now that he came on, how did you guys enjoy that dynamic?
I enjoyed it.
I like it.
It's not. I mean, it's nothing special yet to me. Like, it was nice seeing them communicate and how they, I guess, learning what their dynamic is, because we've seen them in scenes together, but now he's working for her. I will say, I don't believe that Kimball is bad in any way anymore, and I will be upset if the show makes her out to be some sort of bad guy, because that I feel will be
Bad girl.
Bad girl. I'm sorry, Michael. Because I feel like that would just be like overdone. Like, we get it. We thought she was bad in the beginning. Now we don't think she's bad. I'm happy that we kind of we see she's when it comes down to it, it's politics, and she's going to do what's best for her, and that I'm fine with. That's what I know Kimball to be, and I'm glad that we learned that in this episode, and I just hope that they don't change that, because I'm happy with that choice.
Well, what I liked about that is having Aaron, who knows Tom so well, when Tom's doing that speech with the press, and he's saying, what I'm going to do, I want to work with Republicans, Democrats, Independents to, work with the language of this bill. And it cuts to Hook Stratton. She goes, nobody reached out to me. And Aaron says, this is him doing that right now.
Yeah.
He's reaching out to you.
I was going to bring that up. Do you think he will be kind of that connector between the two?
For sure. Through by way of Emily as well. Like, they're going to kind of bridge that gap a little bit.
Yeah, I think especially as Kimball and him grow closer, she'll trust him more. When he's trusting Tom, she'll trust him, and therefore things will be easier.
But like you said, we've known her character to really look out for herself, and I think we got a hint of that in her last conversation with Aaron. Not her last conversation, but before. She said a line, something about like, I won't be tied to a sitting duck. Like, at the end of the day, she wants to do everything that she can to work together, but if things align that are in her best interest, she's gonna go that route.
Yeah, but at the same time, she wasn't being like vicious about it, because what she was saying, that if this bill doesn't get passed, they're not going to be like, well, we lost, let's try again. Like, she's not going to be on the losing side. She's just going to be quiet about it and forget about it, so she still looks good. So it didn't even seem like malicious in any way, or hinting that she's bad, which I liked. It was honestly hinting that this is who she is. She's in it for herself, and she will do what's right.
No, I agree with you.
But at the end of the day, she's not going to like throw herself under the bus.
Yeah, a lot of people in the live chat saying that she's a political enemy, but not a real enemy. More frenemy, to use that term. Michael Martinez says Kimball is a snake in the grass.
I hope not.
Super Mario Nintendo says every time Kimball talks to Kirkman, it feels like she is conspiring. And something that I actually just posted in the live chat is, Aaron and Emily seem to be clicking now. We're talking about that relationship working well. Do you think that's something that could backfire? Or where do you see that relationship that maybe seems to be coming back together? Where do you see that going?
I see it happening that eventually Hook Stratton's going to get the VP spot. Aaron's chief of staff. And so then he and Emily are going to have to be working as chief of staffs for their respective people and interacting during the course of the White House, and we'll see what kind of happens there.
I can see that. As for the snake comment, I don't know. I felt that everything she was saying was pretty genuine. When she said to him, like, it's because I think this is the right thing, I believe her, because thus far she's been pretty honest. She hasn't been really lying. She's pretty upfront. I mean, sometimes she knows how to like talk the talk in a certain way, but as far as we've known her, she hasn't been dishonest or faking it for any reason. The times she has like been kind of mean to Tom in a sense, or like showing that she wants to stab him in the back, it's right to Tom's face. It wasn't like a secret.
I love what you brought up about them, the storyline of them now, the working together and being president and vice president. And although the one thing I will say, I literally just thought of this, is that would mean that Hook Stratton has to wait possibly 8 to 10 years to be president. And if she really wants that presidency, she knows that if she's his VP, that she's his VP for up to 8 years.
True. I mean, I guess the point is, it depends on, is she now putting her political pursuits over the idea of like, is she putting country ahead of party? In fact, country ahead of her own political aspirations. I don't know yet. So
in the short term.
Yeah.
But long term, that's a big decision.
Oh, that's for sure. But I felt like her conversation with Tom was really interesting, because Tom was really upfront with her, because you kind of feel like she was fishing for something.
Yeah.
But Tom was straight up was like, I cannot promise you anything right now, but I don't know that it won't go unappreciated down the road.
And she still helped.
Yeah, I feel like she was able to kind of parse the meaning of that, even though I felt there were
Yeah,
no
no
guarantees.
one really like came out and said it.
Yes.
Like, you know, but it was definitely felt.
Yeah. Benally says, I think Aaron and Emily are friendly right now, but the romantic angle is off the table at the moment. Aaron still feels kind of betrayed.
I actually really like Emily's character now.
Oh,
I feel like she's
yes.
getting like her bearings. She's so much stronger. She
I
has
agree.
like such great intuition and foresight. I like that they're making her character like a bit stronger because I thought she was kind of timid before.
She was. It's
Yeah.
again character development, you guys.
Oh,
You got
about
that
that
one. You
character
got that one.
development.
But she's honestly like a boss babe. Like she's doing it. Like
She's
I
a
really like
boss
that.
babe.
Boss
Hashtag
babe.
boss babe.
Natalia Ritchie.
Couldn't say the other word. I don't want to curse.
The other person that we finally got to see a lot of too was the former president, because now that he's
Yeah.
Secretary of State, to
Yeah.
see how he kind of folds in with everything, and I liked having him in the mix with this. How'd
He
you guys feel?
was.
Are you trusting him more?
Yeah.
I am, yeah.
It's like grandpa coming
He
to
was
visit,
so
like-
cool in that scene where he was talking to who was he talking to?
The guy
did
from
write-
Texas.
Yeah, what was his name? You don't have
I can't remember his name.
The
now.
Well,
senator
anyways,
from Texas.
the senator from Texas. I loved that scene. I thought oh gosh, that was like politics. Oh my god, I loved that. I thought that was so cool.
Yeah.
I don't know how he's like.
He's
by
like,
the way,
"I'm
I'm
not
not really
asking."
asking.
Yes.
That was good.
That was great.
Part of me is still just wary of him, and I don't know if that's just the way he was cast, specifically to be taller, bigger, than
Faster,
Kirkman.
stronger.
I mean, that's definitely a mental thing. I don't know if anyone's ever you noticed that when they're standing next to each other, walking to each other. He's a big guy, so character-wise, I'm sure he was cast to overshadow Kirkman, and so that gives you that thought of
Figuratively and literally.
figuratively and literally of, is he trying to make a play? Is he trying to just continue to be president himself and kind of guide the angles of Kirkman? But I was very impressed with him this episode. Thought he did well.
Yeah, so far, I don't think that's what he's trying to do. They haven't really hinted at that at all. I mean, I think the reason why, like, the overshadowing thing was mainly for that that episode that introduced him, like when he was learning from. When Tom was learning from him, and they were like literally having that conversation the whole episode of walking around and whatever. We know how I feel about that, but I feel like that's I loved it. I feel like that's why he initially was like the overshadowing character. But I think at this point he kind of has a smaller role in a sense. Like yes, he's still there, but I don't think he's like a big issue. He's not like trying to get in the way. He's just trying to help with whatever Tom
He's
Kirkman
just like another voice
needs.
on the team.
Yeah, and
The-
that's good. We need a team.
The official Rizk uses a term that I think you like. Says that he's the OG.
The OG.
Look at that.
Agreed.
I did like the conversation with him and Tom, because he says, Tom, what's great about you is that America likes you because you got here without owing anybody anything. But
like that
the
too.
problem is that nobody owes you anything either. So getting people to sway over to get you 51 votes is going to be a challenge.
The blessing of
He
the
was
curse.
right.
Yeah, that was definitely very profound.
Yeah. So yeah, that way you got to flip at least 5 Republicans to get to that 51, so that it becomes full court press time. What do you
Which
do?
turns into 6.
Yes. But it's interesting to see like the difference, like with Dunlap, a buddy that he went to school with, he spent some time with, having that conversation, like, oh, who would have thought we'd have been here 30 years ago? I'd be sitting here in the Oval Office. But he's saying, I can't do this because he's got to answer his constituency. He's got political coverage he's got to have. And then it's interesting just to see, once he gets that political coverage from Hook Stratton, he's like, all right, I'm in. I wanted to do it, but I just needed that political coverage. Like, even if you want to do the right thing, you still need to cover your ass.
Politics.
I think this goes back to the authenticity that I appreciated of that conversation, which is raw and saying, hey, yeah, we're still buddies, but you understand I can't do this.
Yeah.
And the other conversations that they're having, and just the dialogue in general between people, the authenticity, really nice.
All about it. Agreed.
I did think I did think that one scene though, when Dunlap does call back and he's in the stairwell and he's like, all right, Tom, I'm on your side. I'm gonna do it. You got my vote. I was expecting something like, because he's like in that that dark shadowy
Someone to come out.
Yeah, I don't know. I was like,
Very good.
he fell for our trap. But it all basically the whole thing at the end comes down to the big vote. They think they've lost because Tom thought he had somebody, the senator from Alaska, at least leaning his way.
Well,
saying that,
she said she didn't know.
yeah, but at least he assured, like, if you go with me and you lose your seat, I guarantee you a spot in my administration. And so I'll think about it, and she ends up ultimately going with the no.
She did think about it for the second. He called her name twice, so
Yeah.
So I'll be like, whatever seat he's promising me may get blown up.
People
at
knew
some
that was
point,
coming,
so
though, right? I
maybe
mean,
not.
everyone knew that was coming.
Well,
Oh, she was gonna say no. Yeah.
No, she was gonna say yeah. No, not sorry. That I guess the Tennessee lady was
Vandenberg?
gonna say
You
yes.
thought she was going to say yes?
That
Vandenberg?
I did not see that coming.
Really?
the lady from the senator from Tennessee? Oh, hands down, I saw that coming.
Yes.
You guys, I did not see. When did you see that coming?
When the look that she gave that
I wasn't
Alex.
looking
I
at
didn't think
her.
about that later. I was more focused on the senator from Alaska.
No, I thought that right when Alex stood up to
Yep.
Bowman in the hallway and they had that long look and you could see the look on the senator's face and she was like, oh, like, that's really nice. Good for you. Us women need to stand together. Yes, we're going to do this.
This impression, right?
Okay, I did not get that from that look.
Really?
I will say that great acting though, because obviously two people got it. You got it too, or no? I didn't.
really.
When I
I
saw
mean,
that look,
no, yeah,
So-
sure.
I was
Yeah,
so
Christine was
focused
so
on
on
the
it.
fact that they're gonna do something because of this. Like all of them, I was focused on them as a whole. I was
went
not
over
paying
my head.
attention.
So
to
when the
individuals.
senator from Tennessee said that, or senator from Alaska said that she was not, said no, you thought the bill was done.
No, I was like, there has to be something. I honestly thought like there has to be something, but I didn't see the woman from Tennessee. But I loved that moment. Guys, that was such a good moment. And then when they were eating pizza, I was like, I want pizza, which is why I texted you guys.
Oh,
saying,
that's why you
"I want
texted us you
pizza."
want pizza.
I thought you were
Got
just
it.
being like,
Hey, you
that,
always
like,
want pizza.
yeah.
So,
True.
I had pizza today, actually, guys.
Okay, stop it, Christine.
but Vanderburg comes through.
Yeah. What I wondered was the place that the former president brought in. Is that a real Washington D.C. pizza place?
What was the name of it?
I can't remember it.
You could read the box.
Yeah.
'Cause I know. I mean, I lived in D.C. for
I didn't.
a little while.
Well, guys, we're gonna have to go
Yeah.
back to the tape afterwards and see if that's a real Washington D.C. place.
Some good
Look it
staples
up.
there.
There's
It
some
looks
grabs.
so good. If it's real, let's take a field trip.
All right, that's it.
Done.
Yeah, a
Over
big
to
Destination
DC.
Survivor field trip. There you go. We'll do some live shots from various different monuments. There you go. Yeah, but when it gets to Vandenberg, Tom asks to speak to her in the Oval Office, and she comes in, and Alex is there too. And this is the first time that Tom is realizing what an influence that Alex had on this whole outcome. Is that she had this conversation with Bowman that she saw, and you can see the look at Tom's face is like looking at Alex.
That's my girl.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like yes, all right.
He played it well. He wasn't
Yeah.
surprised. I was wondering how he would react, and he was like, "Good for you."
Did you want to like flip up? What happened?
No, but I expected like a
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
of those looks, and he didn't play that card. Good.
No, it was like you're gonna get so lucky tonight.
And I like that nothing had to be said. Like it was all in his look and his leg touch.
This is very natural, Renee.
One, leg touch, a good leg touch.
So say my arm is the leg. How was the touch? Yeah, it's a good touch.
Right? Good leg
touch.
touch.
Good
I
touch.
know.
That's didn't look at all creepy. Not at all.
I'm gonna watch it
It's
back
like a
and
claw.
just see
Like you're one of those little games at a restaurant trying to like extract that stuffed animal.
guys. It's rude.
That's
It's just straight up. It's rude. I don't want it.
but we found out the big thing is that her husband, she took over the chair when her husband died, and he was very much against gun control, and so everybody just assumed since they were married she was going to fall in line the way he voted. In fact,
Yeah.
Bowman felt that same way too, so never asked her how she felt about it, and she says, you know what, we agreed on a lot of things except for gun control.
I thought that was an interesting comparison to, like, when they were trying to get Alex to kind of mind what she says and kind of fall in line with, well, hold on, let me rehash my thoughts. Like, people assumed that she would think exactly how her husband thought, whereas with Alex, all right, forget it. I was going nowhere with that one.
No, I liked where you're going there. Don't.
You were
No,
saying
I just,
because
like-
Alex said that everyone was assuming that was what Tom Kirkman was thinking when she
Right.
said about gun control. I totally get
Yes,
what you're saying.
I was trying to get that point.
Girl,
I just
words,
wasn't getting there.
It's late. I feel you.
No worries. Sorry, but you get what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
totally.
So, cool.
I think it helps certainly in Tom and Alex's
Say
thing
true.
is that they do have a lot of the same. They pretty much have the same viewpoints towards all those big issues. But it's one thing to be the first lady. You can't come across as seeming like you're
Right.
speaking.
Whereas
for-
she took the leap to actually say how she felt,
yeah,
because she could.
and then there it influenced one lady who made all the difference in the world.
Woo! What a great scene. Sorry, that
Yeah.
was such a good moment. I wish I also was like with pizza. Like, oh, good job, guys.
So there you go. They
I thought
squeak
you were
it
gonna
out.
come through the doors after.
I wish.
So they win 51-49, and now they're gonna be working in the House to try to revise the
The
language
battle
of
just
this.
begins, though. I mean, they made it seem like it was a big deal, which it was, but the battle, it's just beginning. Because the bill is not going to look the same at all. They literally just passed, a core of something. Yeah, a skeleton.
It'll be interesting to see. I could see maybe why, because there's a lot of meat on this potentially for this to carry out multiple episodes. And if Bowman is slated to be at least in, as we're saying, I think we're 5 episodes. We saw that last week, so that's 3 more. You can see there's a lot of story that could be.
But I don't think it's going to be like an ongoing, like, next episode and the episode after that. I think they're going to bring it back maybe a little bit next episode, but have it be more heavy plot-wise, like a few episodes from now. Because I think there's going to be other things that they're going to focus on for the storyline.
Do you guys think that that storyline has anything to do with the conspirators at all? Because we're kind of seeing them parallel. Do you think that it could go that way at all?
No, because I think they're taking a little break from that.
Yeah, because honestly, we could say that with any of the plots that they've had, like, for any of the episodes, because they always have, like, their political plot, and then they have their conspiracy plot, and they haven't, at least as far as we know, haven't been intertwined.
Oh, that's very true.
That's the future, which I think we need to predict.
There you go.
Wow, great
Christine's
segue,
like,
Michael. Great segue.
I was waiting for the lights to come on. I was like, what?
Right?
Predictions!
Josh!
Predict Josh.
You needed an Oreo.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
There's the lights. I'm going to get this one started.
Get it started.
Well, have another Oreo while you do this.
Twofold,
to reward yourself. You got to reward yourself.
Diet started last week. I limited myself to like 4 of those. That probably is more than the diet.
I only saw you eat 1, so.
What diet
How many
includes
carbs
Oreos?
are in this?
A lot.
None.
A lot. I got Hawaii in 6 weeks.
It's like celery.
We're trying.
21 grams.
So twofold. One is, and this is based off what Bowman said earlier, when he was talking with Hook Stratton, and Hook Stratton says, you're new here. And he says, everyone is new here, and there's a lot of people trying to kind of get their footing and push themselves ahead. And so I see that being a major storyline of there will be other people who will rise up to be major challengers and players trying to assert their authority and trying to make themselves look superior. So one, I see that as a major storyline coming up, that we're going to have another person rise to power. I'm not exactly sure who it is yet. And 2, getting back to the missile silo, they got to be watched. There's got to be something happening. There's a reason that they didn't show them getting out. It's not going to be as easy as reporting it and them coming and bringing in a whole team to remove all the bombs, and then the conspiracy is done. No way.
I agree with you on they're definitely not alone in there, and they didn't show them getting out for a reason. I also predict, and not just because of the promo, that Tom is going to have a moment where he really stands up for himself and asserts himself in the situation because people are not listening.
Tom Kirkman turns Jack Bauer next week on Designated Survivor.
Tune in.
Seriously. I mean, they couldn't have set it up any better.
And those are all my predictions.
So we got.
Oh, well, you got a really good prediction about Hook Stratton. I actually think she's going to get edged out a bit more since everyone's trying to climb up there. I think her connection to Aaron and subsequently the White House is like her really only her path to staying relevant. Like, she probably should take that VP spot because clearly Bowman's coming for her and everyone else.
That's right. He does bring up a good point because he does call her the old guard.
Yeah.
And for the most part, I mean, she was the only one really of the remaining senators. So it's like you got a whole new class of people that, for maybe they've always had aspirations, but all these other senators that are already in place had such a stranglehold on all those seats. Now that they're all gone, you're seeing all these people that ever even had a thought of maybe like, this is my moment to get some, to make it far on government. I'm going to go for it. So you can see a lot of hungry people trying to make a run for Hook Stratton. I'm going to just say Hook Stratton and Aaron, they start hooking up.
Hook Stratton and Aaron?
That's just whatever. I don't have anything else.
Someone did say earlier that Emily was going to walk in on Hook Stratton and Aaron.
That is the weirdest.
Ew.
That's weird, though.
No, guys, please no.
I forget who said it. Sorry, weird.
They're dating in real life.
Tanya just tweeted me. She's like so excited that Rob Morrow is going to be back next week.
That's true. Yeah, there you go. Abe.
Oh,
Abe
yeah.
Leonard's
What's
back.
going to happen with that?
Yeah, he's sniffing down. He's still sniffing
Sure
down
is.
the whole big conspiracy stuff. So, trying to figure out like why the VP was able to order the hit on that would-be assassin. So, he's following that story. He's got a nose for news. So I guess we'll see some further leanings towards that. I don't know. What do you think the odds are that Rob Morrow survives? That he's maybe taken out by somebody?
Pretty high.
Yeah. We'll see.
It's being used to, further the plot line.
All right. As we wrap it up, one last thing about the conspiracy. Odds are that we're going to see it come to a conclusion this season? Does it
Conclusion?
Some,
No.
some sort of conclusion with one part of it, yes.
We're
the
gonna
entirety.
know more, but obviously they always end the season on a tease, not a conclusion.
That's why, because it's bigger than they think.
Bigger. If we whisper, it gets even bigger.
All right, let's keep quiet.
It's like ASMR.
All right, well, as we get ready to wrap up, let's all encourage Michael Clouse to have one more of these cookies. You got to do it, Michael.
I posted a motivational photo on my Instagram that I keep
saw that
looking at,
photo.
and I need to get back to that shape.
Man, get out of you are in that shape. Stop
No.
it. Stop it.
Nope.
Lift up that shirt right now. Let's just
Nope.
see the deal. Let's just see the deal. Because I don't buy it. I think you are absolutely
People
in
want
that
to see
same
the
shape.
picture. You can go to my Instagram at the only MC.
Follow me at the only MC.
Oh, there you
No.
go. It's a great photo.
I need to get back to that shape.
There you go.
How long
Gotta
ago
be
was
fit,
that?
fam. Get back on it.
That was coming up on 2 years when I went to Myrtle
Wow.
Beach.
It's weird because
Wow.
it's not Thursday, so I would think like Throwback Thursdays would be posted on.
It was from last Friday. It wasn't. I didn't post it today. It was Flashback Friday.
Oh, Flashback Friday.
No, all right. This is getting really good here today. There you
You
go.
know all
Me
that
and Frank
chemistry
are just
that we
like-
had? It's
We're just
gone.
watching the
I
sidelines
know.
over here.
I know.
Like, what?
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that's
It's
going to
off camera.
do it for this Designated Survivor After Show. But as always, you can like us on Facebook, give us those 5 stars on iTunes, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and thanks everybody for hopping in the chat. If you're watching this even after the show's aired, feel free to comment down below. Michael Clouse would like to read those at night while he's eating a couple Oreos, peruse those comments. Yeah, that's what he enjoys doing most of all. But if you want to continue the conversation with us even after the show's over, Renee, where can they find you and get that great recipe for those vegan cookies?
You guys can find that great recipe on the back of the cookie dough container
In the
at Whole
trash.
Foods. Shut up. You guys can follow me at Renee Ariel on Instagram and Twitter, and make sure you check out my blog, sextingandthecities.com. And please, guys, please go like Michael's picture from Flashback Friday. He needs more likes.
Go do it. You know, we all need more likes, don't we? Again,
We
you
sure
can follow
do.
me on Instagram, on Twitter, at the only MC. Talk about this episode. There's a lot of things we always talk about. Join me.
Cool. I can't follow that. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter though, at Christine Bean. Can we pick a new flavor for next week? Because I'm just out. So let me know.
Oh, yes, no worries. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at HappyGoJackie. I won't be here next week. Michael Clouse is going to be more than capably filling this seat, basically showing you how a real man does it. I'm just pretending.
Oh, stop
That's
it.
it. So, but yeah, follow me there on at HappyGoJackie, and we'll see. These three will see you next week. I'll see you in 2 weeks, right here on the Designated Survivor After Show, right here on AfterBuzz TV. Bye, everybody.
Adios.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.